Good morning, fellow Toastmasters.
I think he got disconnected.
Yes, seems like.
Yeah.
कोई तंग कर रहा है उसको नो मोर डिस्कनेक्ट हो गया
I'm trying to call him.
Hello. Yeah. I think there's some issue. I just connect through phone. Are you listening me? Yeah.
You can start the meeting now.
Yeah, sorry. Calling meeting to order. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. Welcome to the 32nd meeting of MECA KSA Toastmasters Club, club number 07879933, Area 6, Division B, District 79. I am Muhammad Noman, the Sergeant at Arms for today's meeting. Before we begin, let me read out the mission of our Toastmasters Club. We provide a sportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. I request you all to please repeat after me for better listening,
for better listening,
for better thinking,
for
for
better
better
thinking,
thinking
and better speaking.
and better
and
speaking.
better speaking.
We learn by doing.
We
We
learn.
learn by doing.
Thank you. I request you all to silence your cell phone during the meeting. Since we are in an online meeting, members other than the role player, meeting leaders, and speakers are advised to mute their microphone during the meeting. You are urged to upload using emojis and through your videos during the meeting. As a general rule, Toastmasters encourage all the speakers and role players to speak on any topic except politics, religion, and sex. I hope you will enjoy today's meeting as I would. Now let me hand over the control of the meeting to our mentor, a great Toastmasters and winner of the stack last year's confident speaker and exemplary leader, DTM Dr. Sundar.
Thank you very much, Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Muhammad Noman, for the generous introduction. Fellow Toastmasters and all my dear friends, a warm good morning to you all. Indeed, it's a great meeting that we are having here today. And the theme of today's meeting is revival. That's right. So revival is something that we all look forward to. Every time we reinvent ourselves, we see a better version of ourselves. It's a process of revival and being resurgent enough. So that is going to be the theme of today's meeting, and I'm sure we are all going to have an exciting meeting ahead of us today. Before we move on to the meeting proper, let me request that we have a few guests with us here today. So can we have a word from our guests? We have distinguished Toastmaster Lancy D'Souza, who's joined us all the way from India. DTM Lancy, we'd be happy to hear from you.
All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, wonderful people from the Toastmasters fraternity. Sridhar sent me a message and he said, please, you must. So immediately I just finished off being a chief judge at one of the contests. And I told them, please relieve me. I need to meet my friends up in Saudi Arabia. I was in Saudi Arabia for many, many years. It's good. I'm absolutely delighted to meet a lot of you. And I hope I can continue to stay much longer in this. But somewhere down in the middle, I'll have to leave out because I have to attend another CJ briefing. All right, over to you.
Thank you very much, DTM Nancy, for heeding to the request of DTM Sridhar and joining us in today's meeting. We are really happy to see you here. Unfortunately, DTM Sridhar is unable to join today due to some personal issues.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining.
Okay.
We also have another guest here with us, Mr. Asim Fayaz. Mr. Asim Fayaz, we'll be happy to hear from you. Will you please unmute yourself? We'd also be happy to see you on the video, if it's not a problem.
Yeah, I couldn't put myself on the video as I'm driving, but it's nice to join today's call, today's meeting, and be around you, the Toastmasters forum. I'm Asim from Pakistan and working in Bahrain for the last 14 years. I'm a qualified accountant and working here in the Middle East with a multinational company as a financial controller for EMEA business. So this is my short introduction, and would like to learn from you all and contribute to the community as well.
Thank you very much, Mr. Asim, for joining us here today. I'm sure that you would definitely enjoy the meeting proceedings that's going to happen here. Toastmasters is actually an organization that focuses on developing the communication and leadership skills of individuals who are members of the fraternity. And this is actually a part of all our professional and personal development that we aim to do things here. And I'm sure that you will definitely be finding this one useful and would become a part of our team in the future. Having said that, it's now time for us to learn from the word master the new word for today. Our word master today is Toastmaster Rupesh. Toastmaster Rupesh, can you please introduce to us the word of the day?
Thank you, DTM Sundar. Good morning, Toastmasters and fellow guests. As a word master, it is my duty to introduce the word of the day. For today meeting, the word is resurgence, which means a new increase of activity or interest in particular subject or idea that had been forgotten for some time. As per Oxford Dictionary, this is a noun. And this also means a process in which something start to grow, develop, or becoming successful again. Similar word of resurgence is revival, upturn, recover, and comeback. An opposite word of resurgence is failure, relapse, and disappearance. Example for use of the word resurgence are, in the stock market normally we use, there has been a resurgence of interest in telecom stocks again. The new economy has saw a resurgence of lot of merger and acquisition for smaller companies for achieving a large scale of activity. Famous quote on resurgence is, women work as much as men, if not more. There is a resumption of dad in the home and women working. There is also a famous book, Resurgence, written by Alec Michael Dude, that is all about thrill and suspense. I request all speakers to use the word of the day. During the meeting, when called upon, I will present word usage report. Back to DTM Sundar.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Rupesh, for that elaborate description of the word of the day. And I am sure all of us here have understood what the word means and how the word could be used and what are its synonyms. And the idea behind introducing the word of the day as a part of our every meeting is so that we enhance our vocabulary and also use these new words every time we try to speak. Resurgence is quite a simple word. No, we all try to be resurgent in every effort, in every endeavor that we take up in our life. Isn't that right? So let us be resurgent enough to use this word of the day today in all activities that we take up in the meeting. Having said that, I just want to give you a brief thing about the theme. Okay, the theme is revival. So I, being a medical professional, the word revival for us is synonymous with reviving a patient. You know, whenever we are about to lose a patient, the first thing that comes out of us, somehow we have to revive the patient. So the word revival carries so much of depth and gravity in our profession. And I'm confident that the same applies to every profession or every walk of life that we take up. So when we try to revive something, we are trying to bring in a new life to that particular activity or that particular action that we are doing at that point in time. So that is the importance of the theme. And to explain more about today's theme and to conduct today's meeting, we have someone special. He is a very enthusiastic Toastmaster and who has been a member with us since the inception of the club. Professionally, he is an investment banker and a corporate finance professional with over 20 years of experience specializing in mergers and acquisitions, valuations, due diligence, strategic business planning, and management consulting. Currently, he is a partner with Simplify Consulting, a boutique management consulting firm in Bahrain. So he is going to helm the affairs as the Toastmaster of the day. So let us put our hands together to welcome our Toastmaster for today, Toastmaster Sanat Kumar Agrawal. Toastmaster Sanat, the wonderful lectern is all yours.
Thank you, DTM Sundar, Dr. Sundar, for that very generous introduction. A very warm good morning to all of you, especially the guests who are here. It's a very interesting theme, and that has been chosen today, which is revival. Revival, they say, it is okay to fall. What is important is if you are able to get back. This is the basics of the term revival, that even when you are down, are you able to gather yourself and revive yourself and move forward? So with this, let me start by introducing the team leaders who play a very important role in today's meeting. Let me start by inviting the accountant Toastmaster Mati Hasmi to explain his role.
And thank you very much. The purpose, my role is R counter. The purpose of the R counter is to evaluate overuse and filler words which are used as a crutch during the meeting. Words may be inappropriate interjection, such as and, well, but, you know. Sounds may be or are. Thank you.
Yes, Toastmaster Sanat, we can hear you.
Okay, sorry, there was some problem with my network.
Yeah.
So thank you, Toastmaster Mati Hashmi, for that wonderful explanation of your role. Our next meeting leader is coming. He is a commerce graduate and a qualified chartered accountant. He also has done diploma in risk and insurance management. Currently, he works at Abdullah Abdul Ghani and Brothers at Toyota Qatar as MIS manager. He has been in Qatar for last 13 years. But before coming to Qatar, he has also worked in Dubai and India across different industries. He has joined MECA KSA Toastmaster to improve upon his communication skills. And of course, we know that he's come a long way. So our next meeting leader, the word master and grammarian of the day is none other than Toastmaster Rupesh Kumar, and I would invite him to explain his role.
Yeah, thank you, Toastmaster of the day, Sanat Agrawal, for such a generous and elative introducing me. And good morning to all of you. As a grammarian, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all the speaker, listening their language usage, taking notes of improper language usage as well as any outstanding words, code, or thought. And during the meeting, when you are called upon, I will present my report. Thank you, and back to Toastmaster Day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rupesh Kumar, for that very clear explanation of your role. Our next meeting leader is a very important role, has a very important role to play. Is the timer of the day. He comes from the city of Mumbai, Maharashtra. He is a Master of Commerce and postgraduate diploma in postgraduate diploma in business administration. He's been working in Saudi Arabia since last 20 years. In his current position with Saudi Arabian Industrial and Development Company Tamam as a co-finance manager. His hobbies are reading and networking. He's father of two young kids, 14 years, 9 years. He's joined MECA KSA Toastmaster for self-development, communication, and leadership skills. He is none other than our Toastmaster Syed Qazi. Can I invite Toastmaster Syed Qazi to explain his role as a timer?
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the day. Greetings, DT, distinguished Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and guests. As timer, I will time the prepared speeches, table topic speakers, and the evaluations. I will also alert each speaker of the time they have left using the green, yellow, and red cards, which denote specific times remaining. Those giving prepared speeches should limit their remarks to their specific speech times. Most other the prepared speeches should be 5 to 7 minutes in length, green card at 5 minutes, yellow card at 6 minutes, and red card at 7 minutes. Table topic speakers should limit their remarks between 1 to 2 minutes. Green card at 1 minute, yellow card at 1 minute 30 seconds, and red card at 2 minutes. The individual evaluation should be between 2 to 3 minutes. Green card at 2 minutes, yellow card at 2 minutes 30 seconds, and red card at 3 minutes. For all speeches, table topics, and evaluation, the speakers have 30 seconds to wrap up their presentation after the red card. Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Qazi, for that elaborate explanation of your role. For the benefit of our guests, a typical Toastmasters meeting is divided into 3 parts. The first part is the prepared speeches. The second part is the table topics or impromptu speeches. And the third part is the evaluation part. So let us start with the first session, or for the first part of the session, which is the prepared speeches session. Today we have one of us who is giving a prepared speeches, and to evaluate his speech, we have a very distinguished Toastmaster among us. He is an associate consultant at oral surgeon, associate consultant oral surgeon at King's South University Medical City. He has been a Toastmaster since 2017. Currently, club president of Taj Toastmasters Club, VPPR, Garagena TMC, and club mentor at our club, which is a MECA KSA club. He is a Division B champion and district semi-finalist in International Speech Contest 2019 and 2020. Is none other than DTM Dr. Sundar Ramalingam. Can I invite Dr. DTM Sundar to explain the role of the next speaker?
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Sanat. Fellow Toastmasters and all my dear friends, good morning once again. And today I'll be evaluating a speech from the level 1. I think it's project 2 or 3. I'm not sure because I'm not aware. There has been some change in the level 1 in pathways. So this is going to be an evaluation and feedback project, and wherein the speaker is going to deliver a second speech. The speaker has already delivered the same speech once before, and it was evaluated, and the speaker is going to apply the feedback that he received the last time in the current speech, and he's going to deliver it. So the purpose of this project is for the member to practice applying feedback, and the purpose is also for the member to demonstrate the ability to deliver an effective, respectful speech based on a previously received evaluation and feedback. The speech length will be 5 to 7 minutes, and the speech title is My Experience with 360-Degree Appraisal. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, DTM Sundar, for that wonderful explanation of the objectives of the speaker. So we have Toastmaster Rupesh Kumar, who is delivering his next speech. He is also playing different roles today, so we already know about him. So without much ado, I will invite Toastmaster Rupesh Kumar to deliver his speech.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Sanat. Doc River has famously said, average player wants to be left alone. Good player wants to be coached. Great player wants to be told truth. Then question comes in mind, why great players want truth to be told? Can any one of you answer this? Let me answer this. Great players want to know their strengths and weaknesses to be told them correctly so that they can take self-initiative to improve themselves, and they can work upon themselves to be a great again and again and consistently. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmaster and guest, good morning. Last few years back, I got a promotion. I was very happy and excited. However, as a part of promotion, I need to go through 360-degree appraisal program and psychometric test. The purpose of this appraisal was to understand what are my strengths and what are my weaknesses, so that I can work upon and I can improve as a better person and as a better employee, and I can contribute to the department and the company. One reputed company was engaged to take me through this process. I was very happy and excited. I thought recently I've got promotion, so I will get very good results and I don't see any drawback in me. However, when the result came, I was surprised to know unknown strength and unknown weaknesses. On the strength side, it came out I have drive for strategic thinking, I drive for result, my collaboration and teamwork are excellent. But on weaker side, I need to increase my contact with my team. This surprised me because I used to think I am very approachable and easy to go person. Then I analyzed myself, I found, yes, I am communicating to team as and when only required, when I have to assign a new task, when I have to tell them new strategies. Otherwise, I'm thinking we are in the professional environment, why I should go and open myself. So then I thought, let's what to do with this report, because I have got it from my team, my peers. So one way of doing, just keep it side and keep silent. But I thought, no, this will not help me out. Then I called my team who is closely working with me. I invited all of them and I asked, this is the feedback I have got from you guys. You mentioned I am doing very limited communication. What are your concerns? So then other team member told me, see boss, we are working with you on the project But as far as feedback is concerned, communication is concerned, you give very limited feedback or you just give direction how it has to be done. So sometimes you are lost. You don't know whether we are on the right path or in the path. Till that time you are telling we have to take a next path to complete it. Then I ask them, okay, what is the solution for this? Because this has come from you, you also suggest so that we have very innovative solution and we can work upon as a team. Then they advise me, okay, let's have a regular team meeting. And I then invited all of them for regular meeting, weekly, day-to-day basis as and when required. And slowly this improved trust and transparency among the team. Second area for improvement I have less proactive communication with the CEO. Here also I was surprised because I was making and giving a lot of effort to present any requirement that come from CEO office, even 1 and 2 slides, thinking he has abundance at his desk, so he need to make a quick and fast decision. And this habit I have got from my previous company, from previous CEO. He was very particular. All the information had to come maximum 1 or 2 pages so that he does not have to run here and there for information and he can take a faster decision making and he can drive us all together. But now here is situation, CEO is not happy with this. Then I analyze and I have communication with him. Then I came to know, yeah, he's fine with 1 and 2 page summary, but at the same time, he has eye for details. So he need all the information in 1 slide, and then he need all the details in further slide. Then I change my communication style. Whenever I have to present, whenever I have to provide information, then I started preparing 1 and 2 summary in bullet points, and then I started giving details in corresponding slides. This helped to improve my communication and my personal and professional bonding with the CEO. Now, if you need anything, he directly give me a call and ask me for my advice or feedback on any project or any assignment he want to take. So this has helped me to improve my communication with my CEO. Third thing came the weakness area. I have to work upon the leadership skill. Then I went through a lot of books, videos to understand where I have to work upon. Then I came upon first key, I have to improve transparency. So what transparency? I used to think what transparency, everything I'm telling to them and working with them. Then I realized, no, we need to have more team meeting so that we can discuss major event, major plan and study with the team. We started taking feedback. Those feedback I started incorporating. This helped me to improve teamwork and trust and transparency. Second thing is a personal accountability, because normally this goes a culture. If there is a success, credit goes to leader. If there's a blame, it goes to team. So we have to come out of that culture. To improve that, we started setting a clear expectation, career goal, and then regularly we starting monitoring the project so that each and everything can be fixed on time and we can give proper feedback. Overall, I can say, then I also worked upon my creativity skill and decision making. Overall, by working on these skills, I was able to improve. Now also I am improving, and then this helped me to change my department to best in town, and it has contributed in success of a company. Overall, to summarize, I can say winner and loser both have same goals. But what make losers separate? Their focus is only on the goal, but winner make a system, process, and structure that he follows to achieve his target. For example, Toastmastering is a good tool to improve our communication. And here the feedback is also like a 360-degree feedback, which help us to improve our communication, leadership, and speaking ability. Back to Toastmaster Sanat.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rupesh Kumar, for that wonderful explanation of 360-degree feedback. And it's an interesting system, the 360-degree feedback, because let's say if we talk about 15, 20 years back, we used to get feedback only from the top. And thinking about it, the first time I heard about a 360-degree feedback, it was like, yes, we are used to getting feedback from people who are higher ups, but why should I listen to my team? But if you think about it, who is the best person placed to give you a feedback? The people, if you are to be judged as an employee, then your employer or your boss. If you are to be judged as an employer, then obviously the feedback has to come from your employee or your team member. So what a wonderful system it is, and it is a commendable explanation of 360-degree feedback that you have done, Toastmaster Rupesh Kumar. And what we have also seen through your speech is your resurgence of the communications, resurgence of your relationships with your team, with your boss, and how you have used the impact of the feedback of 360 degree to revive your relationship or your communication with your team and your process. So with that, we come to an end of the prepared speech session, and we will move on to the next session, which is the table topics or the impromptu speech session. But before that, let me ask the timer whether the prepared speech speaker has qualified.
He is not qualified. He's qualified.
Is not qualified. Is not qualified, but it was nonetheless a wonderful speech. So we will not have any voting for the prepared speeches today, and we move on to the next session. And to conduct the next session, we have a very dedicated, enthusiastic Toastmaster. He's been born and brought up in Chennai, did his higher studies in Bangalore and New Delhi. He is a transportation engineer and planner. However, in mid-career, he moved to project financing and Islamic banking after completing his MBA in finance and management. This also tells you he is a perpetual learner. He recently joined the National Center for Privatization and PPP, Ministry of Finance, Government of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia as a senior executive advisor, transportation sector. With over 30 years of professional experience in transportation engineer and planning, credit rating, infrastructure for financing and advisory, Islamic banking, and public-private partnership, we have a multifaceted personality to conduct our table topics session today. None other than Toastmaster Hidayatullah. Toastmaster Hidayatullah, the stage is yours.
Thank you for the generous introduction, Toastmaster Sanath. Good morning, Toastmaster Sanath, fellow Toastmasters, and distinguished guests. Welcome to the exciting session of the day, which is the table topic session. Table topics is one of the best ways to practice thinking and speaking on our feet, or in other words, the impromptu speaking. We never know when we may be asked a tough question either by our boss or by a job interviewer. It is to our benefit to know how to properly answer the questions, or at least look like we are in control of the situation, even if we do not know the exact answers. The more we practice this, the better we will get. Therefore, table topics enables a member to develop the skills of impromptu speaking. You can think of the table topic speech as a mini speech with an opening, a body, and a conclusion. Do not forget to use your personal examples in your speech. Each speaker is required to speak for 1 minute, 1 to 1.5 minutes. Speakers are disqualified if they exceed this timing. I have written the names of all the participants in a slip, and I will randomly pick one of them, and I will run a wheel to pick up the topics. So
Toastmaster Hidayatullah? We are not able to hear you. Please unmute.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Did you hear my introduction?
We
Yeah,
heard
we
the
heard your
introduction,
introduction.
but after that, we
Okay,
did not hear.
Okay. Okay, I will pick up the topic by spinning this wheel. The first topic of the day is many parents have no idea of what their child is doing on the computer. I will pick the lot for selecting the speaker. Can I ask Toastmaster Qazi Sayed Nakhi to speak on this topic, which is many parents have no idea of what their children do on the computer. Over to you, Toastmaster Qazi.
Thank you very much.
Kazi, you are the timer.
Yeah, so can someone time
Yeah, I
please?
will do the timing for you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Since the inception of, or since the innovation of the computer technology, and moving from offline courses to online courses for the kids, most of the parents don't know what their kids are doing on computers. For example, for the younger child, mother has to sit with the kid to ensure that he's attending online class. For the elder ones, they don't like mother or father, anyone to sit with them. They feel uneasy. And sometimes teachers also don't like that somebody sitting with their kids. What has been noticed that many students don't know what they are doing on that. But there are many tools for that. There are many applications to control. Many applications are available to see what the kids are doing while using their computers and laptops. This can be routed through, or this can be noticed through the Wi-Fi accessibility through the mobile and applications. So it is not necessary that all the parents don't know. Many parents are worried to monitor what their kids are doing. And I believe that most of the parents are monitoring that what their kids are doing. And it is necessary to see, because they have easy access to most of the sites. And it is the duty of the all parents to ensure that they monitor the activities of the kids on computers and mobile. Thank you very much. And back to the tabletop master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Qazi, for your take on this topic. We will move to the next topic now. The next topic is the role of technology in today's education. And I will call upon our guest, Toastmaster Lancy D'Souza, to take up this topic. The topic is again the role of technology in today's education. Over to you, Toastmaster Lancy D'Souza.
Interestingly, we all keep talking, ladies and yeah, we keep talking all the time about technology. But I think at some point of time, we've lost off with a lot of reality. Now, let me explain what's the role of technology in a sense is where it has lost a lot of appeal. It's called soft skills. One of the things is understanding a simple thing called hello and thank you. And no matter what you go into this particular virtual world, you would never, ever be able to build up relationships in the way that it's really meant to be. And if you've gone into a restaurant, or if you've gone into a college, or if you go anywhere else, including us. At some point of time, all of us in this room are guilty of it. We are sitting with friends out there and we look at our mobiles and we've lost touch with reality is because we've forgotten what is conversation. We've forgotten how to make a meaningful dialogue. And it's pretty apparent that when you make a conversation with young kids, you find out that they could probably stick to a conversation for just a minute and a half, and after they've lost. Let me equate with something. I was doing a youth leadership program. It was for about 4 weeks. And at the end of the week, we had table topics just like this. And I used that infrastructure. Now, I had 17 kids with us. They were all ranging between 17 to about 21 years old. And I asked one of them, his name is Christopher, he pulled out the chit and it was said love, simple. There is nothing about technology on it. Now, he walked across the room and he started off saying, love is a 4-letter word and everybody has a love. And then he broke down and he cried. He says, the only person who loves me is my grandfather. I walked across the room and I hugged him because it's cathartic and it has a lot of meaning. And I said, Christopher, do you want to continue? If not, you can sit down. He sat down. Much later on, I asked the rest of the people in the room, do you think it was a sign of weakness or it was a sign of strength? And they all undoubtedly, you don't require rocket science. You don't require technology at that point of time. Where's the role of technology? All they said was it was strength. And I'm so grateful that they said that crying and cathartic was strength. And that is why at some point of time, we need to get back on the emotional part of it. Although we are technically qualified, do not ever forget, be emotional in your life, you're bound to succeed. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Lancy, for your wonderful take on this topic. We'll move to the next topic now. The next topic is destruction of the world's forest is justified by human need for land and food. I call upon Toastmaster Abdullah Suleiman. The topic for you is destruction of the world's forest is justified by human need for land and food. Over to you, Toastmaster Abdullah Suleiman.
Thank you, Toastmaster Hidayatullah. Good morning, distinguished guests, and good morning, fellow Toastmaster. It was a very interesting topic and very important in our human life. Food is essential, of course, and no doubt the world now suffering from food supplies, and there is a lot of disasters happens like droughts, and also which reduce the production of food. Also, other thing which is essential contributing to food is that when we have a land and there is a forest, people need to grow more, for example, seeds and prepare for food. But unfortunately, this will destroy our world, our content, our beautiful content. We know that the effect of the forest, if the forest being crushed down, then our environment will negatively being impacted and our ecosystem also, because forest will balance the whole ecosystem in our beautiful planet. So many organizations across the world try to have some activities in order to educate people that destroying our forest will not also serve our needs. We can find some ways and means to produce food in a very safely and healthy way in order to secure our food. So in conclusion, yes, we need food, we have to survive. If we don't have food, we cannot survive. But same thing, if we destroy forest, we will not survive either. Thank you, Toastmaster Hidayatullah. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Abdullah, for the wonderful take on this topic. We will move to the next topic now. The next topic is the lost art of letter writing deserves to be revived. I will call upon Toastmaster Mati Hashmi to take up this topic. The topic again is the lost art of letter writing deserves to be revived. Over to you, Toastmaster Mati.
Thank you so much. The lost art of letter writing deserves to be revived. As we know, in our childhood, we were used to write in Urdu, what we call at the moment, in technical word that was taftis. So we would write taftis for the Urdu language, and for the English language, we had the proper English copies to write the words properly. But with the advancement of technology and after the introduction of computers and different applications, now the students and especially during online education, the students are not using these basic things for their for their English writing or Urdu writing. That works. That's why their font or their wording of the English or Urdu writing is not readable and not, you can say, is not proper or appreciable. So we, being the parents, we need to focus our children and guide them, and we should tell them that how to properly make the habit and use skills to write for the English language and Urdu language. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mati, for your suggestions on reviving the lost art of handwriting. Let's go to the next topic now. The next topic is resurgence of startups. Is this good or bad? I will call upon Toastmaster Sanat to take up this topic, which is resurgence of startups. Is this good or bad? Over to you, Toastmaster Sanat.
Thank you, Toastmaster Hidayatullah, for that interesting topic. Yesterday, as I was browsing through Facebook, I came through a very interesting quote, which read like this: somebody needs to create an app by the name, or somebody needs to tell you that the brain is an app, and then people will probably start using it. So, nutshell, I think everybody wants to use an app. Everybody wants to kind of try new apps, and everybody wants to create an app, whether there is a need, whether there is no need. Right. So the question is here is, the startups are good, whether they're an application or they're a software or they're something else. provided there is a proper justification need. And if there is unnecessary startups, unnecessary ideas, you are giving something which is not required, then it is not good. But ultimately, the more startups you have, right, you will have a variety of ideas, variety of business models, and probably 10%, 15%, 20% of them will survive, and the balance will, whose need is not there, they will not be able to survive and die. They're not natural cause. So if there are more startups, then out of this quantity, quality will eventually emerge. That is what I believe. Because if the idea is bad, it is not going to last long. And if it is idea is not right, or if the idea is right, then come what may, it is a matter of time before it is going to flourish. So the more the merrier. Let the startups surge, and the ones which are really good, they will survive, and the balance will kind of make way for the others. Over to you, Toastmaster Hidayatullah.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sanad, for your views on resurgence of startups. We'll go to the next table topic. The next topic is a very interesting one in the current context. I will call upon our guest, Azim Fayaz. Are you ready to talk on this topic?
Sure.
Mr. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, the topic is, do we need a war?
So everyone, the humanity is always looks for a peace around us, to live in harmony with our environment, with the people around us. And this is the ultimate goal of everyone, to have peace around. However, what we do, if we have a limb in our body that's not functional, and if we don't take any action around it, then we might have a full body that which has to suffer. So war is not a solution for ultimately we have to talk to each other and uh, bring a solution which is workable for everybody. However, in some of the situations, war is necessary, not for a long time, but for a shorter time. As I am giving an example of an operation to a body to heal the issue of, for a long-term solution. So, in a current perspective, what is happening around the world is war is being used for power, uh, for the world states. However, it is not bringing people to the discussion table, to the solutions. So, in the current perspective, I think warmongering is not bringing peace to us. It is against the humanity. However, the purpose of war is not a permanent solution. Is war is for peace in most of the situations. But right now, what is happening is it is warmongering, and which is resulting the world, pushing the world into the chaos. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Back to the chair.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Asim Fayaz, for your views on war. Toastmaster Sanat Agarwal, do you have time for one more topic?
We did not have too many prepared speeches today, so sure, we can go for one more.
Okay, we have only one person left, so
While
yeah. The next topic is dieting does more harm than good. I call upon Toastmaster Rupesh to speak on this topic. The topic is again, dieting does more harm than good. Over to you, Toastmaster Rupesh.
Yeah, thank you, table topic master, and good morning to all of you. See, anything we try to do with a good intention may have good result, but at the end, for any good result, we need to have a fine and fantastic process. And in childhood, even my grandmother used to tell, excess of anything is bad. So dieting is normally done to reduce weight, come to a proper shape, but how it has to be done, that has to be properly thought out. So if we are taking a small steps and trying to change our habits, then we will succeed. But at a sudden, we try to change our habit, it might be impact on us and it can break ourselves, our system, and we might have to see a doctor. So coming to a dieting, if purpose is to lose a weight, then let's do it slowly, steadily, identify how we have to do, and let's go slow about it. And then see a result is active over a longer period of time instead of following a crash dieting and having the impact, bad impact or ill impact of dieting in ourselves. Because recently only I was going through this online this newspaper, and there I found one of the lady, she wanted to reduce her weight and she by 20 or 30 kg, and she started fasting for 3 to 4 days continuously, surviving only on the water. So ultimately this lead to breakup of her health, and she has to be admitted to the hospital due to dehydration and different high level of blood pressure and other element. And then medicine intervention was provided to save her life. So anything we have to do through a proper process, system and structure, and then we will see a good result. Thank you, and back to table topic master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rupesh, for your views on dieting. That comes to the end of this session. Back to your Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Sanat Agarwal.
Thank you, Toastmaster Hidayatullah, for that wonderful array of table topics. You touched from technology to dieting to war, and it's kind of a whirlwind of topics. And as you were coming up with topics, the topics were so interesting. One wanted to speak on every topic, whether it is parenting. Of course, we all need to kind of keep a tab on what our kids are doing, especially the younger ones who still are not exposed, or whom you don't want to be exposed to things like cyberbullying or porn. So yeah, really commendable choosing of the topics. So can I go to the timer to check Toastmaster Kazi have all the table topic speakers qualified?
All table topic speakers are qualified except Toastmaster Lancy D'Souza.
Thank you. Can I request, I think the Dr. Sundar will be, okay, he has already posted the link for voting. The link is on your chat. Please vote for the best table topic speaker as we move to the next session, which is the evaluation session. The evaluation session is the most important session of a Toastmasters meeting, because ultimately we get to know how we perform, right from the execution of the meeting to the speeches, to the prepared speeches, and the evaluators. So to conduct this evaluation session, we have none other than, once again, DTM Dr. Sundar Ramlingan as a general evaluator. I would like to hand the virtual lectern to him.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Sanath, for giving me this opportunity to be the general evaluator for today's meeting. And evaluation, as we always say, the president of our club, distinguished Toastmaster Sridhar, always say evaluation is the breakfast of the champions. So it's the ideal time that we have breakfast. We are all around the same time that we are. It's the morning, and it's something good that we need to have. And today we have an evaluation session, which is going to focus on the prepared speeches, the table topics, the overall evaluation of the meeting as such. And also we'll be taking the reports from our meeting leaders. So what's the idea behind it? If I wish to resonate with the theme and the word of the day, evaluation gives us a chance to revive ourselves, to be resurgent. We know what we do, we know what we have done, and how do we improve on that? That is what is the basic goal that we are all trying. Excuse me, I feel that somebody is unmuted. So when we wish to improve ourselves and see a better version of ourselves, evaluation and feedback that we receive are the key to that particular success that we wish to achieve. So moving up ahead, we will be having the evaluation for the prepared speech, then we'll follow for the table topics. So since we did not have many evaluators today, both of these evaluations would be done by me. I would request the timer to time only my prepared speech evaluation. The table topics evaluation I request, because it was done offhand, so I'll give it like a general evaluation as such. So for the first evaluation, which will be that of the prepared speech, for evaluating the prepared speech of Toastmaster Rupesh Kumar, I call upon the stage myself. Every player wishes to be let alone. Good player wants to be coached, and the great player wants to know the truth. Fellow Toastmasters and my dear friends, what a great way to start a speech which had the objective all about evaluation and feedback. The great player, for example, just let me consider this metaphor to the speaker who was speaking to us, that was Toastmaster Rupesh. The great speaker wants to be told the truth, and that is what he received as a feedback, and he is trying to implement on his speech. A great way to start the speech and grab all our attention. Kudos to you, Toastmaster Rupesh, on that one. And then he moved on to asking us a question. And what he did was like he was trying to engage the audience by asking this particular question, and he's throwing it open. What is all your opinion? Again, he's trying to grab our attention, and then slowly he transitioned to the main crux or the main body of his speech, which was about the 360-degree evaluation which he received upon his promotion, and also the psychometric assessment. But the great thing is, like, he was so humble, and it was showing up his humility, how he was able to accept that he was getting to know a lot of unknown strengths and unknown weaknesses. And the most important part was how he worked upon those, communicating with his team, making sure his interaction with the CEO is great, changing his communication style, and overall making sure that he did not rest upon his laurels of taking the promotion, but rather than that, he made use of this opportunity to learn something and evolve, revive himself, be resurgent, and seeing himself in a better position. So this was the overall message that Toastmaster Rupesh was conveying to us, that life is not all about resting on your laurels, but rather evaluate the things that are happening around you. Whenever you get an opportunity, learn from them and then keep moving forward. Some of the great parts of his speech were the way he started his speech, way he grabbed our attention by taking up the audience, by asking questions. And also, he was telling that, like, the final key quote that he was saying, winners and losers have the same goals, but the only difference is the winners have a system, process, and a structure. So we all need to evolve ourselves with a system, process, and structure if we wish to be winners. These were the great points. But as I told you, as Toastmaster Rupesh, you yourself mentioned, if you wish to be a great player, you need to be told the truth. So here, let me tell you the truthful recommendations that I would suggest you to take your speech to the next higher level. The first thing is, like, whenever you ask a question, pause and then wait I know that this is a virtual environment, but still you could actually wait, or to be even more engaging, you could particularly point out any particular members who are there in the Zoom meeting to evoke an even better response and even better interaction with the audience. And the second important thing is, like, I saw that your speech was very well structured, starting from the opening, body, and conclusion with the call for action. However, when you are looking into the virtual platform and you're presenting in a Zoom meeting, a little bit of technical nitty-gritty is just that you have to focus on. For example, your virtual background was impeding your view. Every time you moved your hand this way, your hands were cut. And when you moved forward and backward, your head and your body were cut. So these things can actually be fine-tuned. You could actually practice yourself in front of a screen. Avoid using a virtual background. If you cannot avoid using a virtual background due to the things that are behind you, try to use a green screen or a plain screen that can be suited so that your technical issues are not hindered. The third thing is your voice modulation. Now, I know that this is probably a first or second or third speech. There is still a long way to go, but anytime that we speak, we always try to do a voice modulation by raising the pitch, lowering the pitch, increasing the speed, increasing the tonality, or changing the tonality. So this actually carries a lot of weightage in the way you non-verbally communicate with your audience. So here, if you are able to work a little bit more on this aspect of your presentation, this will be great. And the last but not the least was the timing. So if you look at it, you had already completed the timing that was given to you, that was 7 minutes and 30 seconds. So that is where practice comes to play. So overall, it was a great speech with a great message, and you had applied all the feedback that you had received in your earlier evaluation of the same speech. Really happy and kudos to you for that one. But if you are able to focus a little bit on the interaction part, wherein you ask a question, wait for the audience to answer, or if you're not getting a reply, point out to someone so that you are able to get an answer, and focusing on the technical aspects of your Zoom presentation. And last but not the least, focusing on your voice modulation and the timing of your speech. I'm sure you are on the path of resurgence, and one day you'll be on the top echelons. Back to you, General Evaluator. So that concludes my evaluation of the prepared speech. So the next one was the table topics evaluation. So let me not focus this one. As I mentioned to you earlier, I'm not going to focus it particularly on a typical table topics evaluation. Rather than that, I'll give an overall comment about it. So I request the timer not to time this one. We had a great table topics session. Thanks to our table topics master, Toastmaster Hidayatullah, for giving us such good topics. He had 7 topics. All of them were from a different spectra. He started off from parenting. He went on to technology. He talked about destroying forests. Then there was a resurgence of startups. Then he went on to dieting, and also we need a work. So it was a whole spectrum of topics. And kudos to Toastmaster Hidayatullah for bringing in out these many topics. It was not like focusing on to any particular theme or any particular message, but rather than these were overall generic topics wherein everybody could make an attempt to speak about. Just one word of recommendation to our table topics master is when he is using the wheel of names, there is an option to hide the questions on the side. So invariably, every time his wheel of names was there, people were able to see almost all the topics. So the element of surprise was lost. So if you can actually hide the list of topics that you have and then spin the wheel of names, that would make a difference. Otherwise, it was a fantabulous effort from Toastmaster Hidayatullah. Kudos to you and congratulations. And thank you very much for giving us such an exciting table topic session. Moving up to our individual speakers, there are certain general things that I would like to make it as a recommendation, but let me come to the recommendations part later on. So what we see is, like, whenever you are given a topic, you always try to speak about the topic, and this 2 minutes, you always have to try to make a structured speech, an opening, a body, and a conclusion. A great example that I could cite in today's table topic speech was that of Toastmaster Lancy, distinguished Toastmaster Lancy D'Souza. Of course, the seasoned speaker he is, and I know from DTM Sridhar that he is indeed a champion speaker. It was very much expected of him, and he delivered a speech with an opening, with a body, and a conclusion with a clear message. So this is the idea behind doing a proper table topics. So whenever you do, you structure it with an opening, body, and a conclusion, and try to evoke a message that is carried on to the audience. Unfortunately, DTM Lancy took a little bit longer in completing his speech. Other than that, that is what I would call as a wholesome package. And another exciting part about DTM Lancy's speech was he took an alternative take. When we ask about technology in education, we all know that there is so much of technology in today's education. We start talking everything positive about it. But he told us what is bleak about it. So this is what grabs the audience engagement. If you are talking about speaking in a contest table topic speech, or for that matter to make a point by your 2-minute speech, so this is what you need to do. You take an alternative take. So he was telling that technology is there, but technology is not what we want. We need those soft skills: saying a hello, saying a hi, conversing with people for more than a minute. These are the things that we are all missing out. And does technology really address that? No. So this is what we need to work out. And so I would suggest every one of you to take that one. We have this recording in the YouTube. Go and look back into this speech, and probably this will give you a whole lot of learnings. And I have learned a lot. Thank you very much, DTM Lancy, for that one. And the other thing that we see is like most of the members, they were actually speaking in line with the topic. They were able to connect with the topic thanks to the Table Topics Master for that one. And these were easy topics, and this shows the depth of knowledge all our members have. But certain things that were missing is like trying to add a personal example. Whenever you are given a table topic speech, the body of your speech should have an example, which could be yours or it could be taken from anybody around you. Here, and I could see only Toastmaster Rupesh using an example of how a lady who was trying to do a dieting, and then she lost out because she had to require medical intervention. So that was the only example that I could see. Otherwise, I was not able to see any other big example. Even Toastmaster Mati Hashmi, he had a very good topic. He started off very well when it was about the lost art of letter writing, but then he was not able to connect it with a personal example. Same way, Toastmaster Kazi was talking about the computers are being monitored by parents or not. So he could have given an example of what he faces with his children. So a personal example or any good example carries a lot of weightage, and an example or a story or an anecdote is what that connects with your audience. So try to bring in at least one small example in your table topic speech. And last but not the least is try to bring in a message or a call for action. So the idea behind any speech is to deliver a message to your audience. So whenever you try to do that, bring in some element of delivering a message or evoking a call for action. So that was also missing in majority of the speeches. On the whole, it was a great table topic session, and few other improvements can be like bringing in audience engagement or bringing in an aspect of humor in your table topic speech. These are all challenges that we wish to throw to all our table topic speakers. So if you are able to do it, it is going to elevate your table topic speech to a next higher level. And one more thing that I wish to note here is two speeches that really attracted me were Toastmaster Sanat Agrawal. He was giving us two sides of the coin. When it was about the resurgence of startups, he was telling us the good and the bad about it. And one thing that we missed is like he could have given us an example there, and like what he happened, saw a startup. Okay, it could have been adding a little bit more weightage, but however, he concluded very well, saying that let the good ones be there and let the bad ones give way for the good ones. So that was good. And our guest, Mr. Asim Fayaz, he was not like a guest. In fact, he was speaking like a seasoned speaker. And the best part about his speech was like he was giving us a great metaphor, like how war should not be like for showcasing power and showcasing, the superiority of someone over the other, but rather it should be something like a surgery that is done to remove off something bad from our body. So that was indeed, I wouldn't say in terms of war, nothing sounds good, okay, but this is actually a genuine metaphor, which we can say that if you see something bad happening somewhere, and if you cannot eliminate it by conversation and dialogue, then the only way out is to get it out. So this is what we do. If you have a disease in your body, you try to treat it by medication and all other. If nothing works out, the final point is surgery to remove it. So that was a great metaphor. And this was my overall evaluation about the table topics. And thank you very much for listening to my evaluations. So now that we have come to the end of the evaluations of the prepared speech and the table topic speech, we will hear from our meeting leaders. So we have 3 meeting leaders here with us today. To give us the first meeting leaders report, let me call Toastmaster Mati Hashmi. Toastmaster Mati, can you please give us the counters report?
Yes, first I shall talk about the prepared speech. So in prepared speech, Mr. Rupesh Kumar, he spoke K 2 times. Next, I shall come to the table topic session. Mr. Abdullah Sulaiman, he spoke R 3 times. I Mati Hashmi, because I was speaking, so maybe 2 to 3 times. Mr. Sanat Agarwal, he spoke R 2 times. Mr. Asim Fayad, he spoke R 9 times. And that is all from my side. Okay.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Mati. And next we'll hear from our word master and grammarian, Toastmaster Rupesh. Toastmaster Rupesh, can you please give us your report?
Yeah, thank you, DTM Sundar. Coming for the use of the word resurgence, the word resurgence has been used by DTM Sundar more than 5 times. By Toastmaster Sanat Agarwal more than 3 times. Toastmaster Hidayatullah 1 time. I have not used in any speech other than introducing the word. I will request all of our speaker and the guests to bring this resurgence in our personal life and identify those areas where we can again think that we are postponing so that we are able to improve ourselves. Back to DTM Sundar.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Rupesh, for your remarks. And next we have our timer, Toastmaster Kazi. Toastmaster Kazi, can you please give us your timer's report?
Thank you very much, DTM Sundar. For prepared speech, PM Rupesh Kumar has taken 7 minutes 49 seconds. For table topic sessions, TTM Lancy D'Souza 2 minutes 33 seconds. PM Kazi Nakiuddin 1 minute 32 seconds. PM Abdullah Sulaiman 1 minute 49 seconds. PM Mati Hashmi 1 minute 24 seconds. PM Sanat Agarwal 2 minutes 11 seconds. PM Asim Riaz 1 minute 55 seconds. PM Rupesh Kumar 2 minutes 18 seconds. Thank you very much, and back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Kazi, for the timer's report. I kindly request you all to vote for the best meeting leader. The link has been shared already. So the last part of the general evaluation session is to give my overall feedback about the meeting. We did start the meeting late. There were some glitches early on, so we started the meeting almost like 10 or 15 minutes late, but I believe we have been able to make up the time. And this was due to us having only one prepared speech. I would request the Vice President Education to make sure that we have more speakers. So usually we have 3 speeches every week. So I think it is better to have at least these 3 speeches assigned and performed every meeting. This is the first thing. The second thing is, like, we had some issues with the agenda. Although we had a great theme and word of the day, which was announced well ahead of time, the link was also ahead by yesterday, but the agenda was missing. So the Vice President Education or anybody who is filling up his shoes should make sure that the agenda, or it need not be in the form of the regular template, at least a message that conveys that these are the role players, these are the speakers, these are the evaluators, these have to be covered up and made sure that this is worked out. Other than that, we had a great meeting. We had 2 guests who were introduced and who are also given opportunities to take roles as table topic speakers in the meeting. And we have been going well with the time as of now. And the meeting leaders, the Toastmaster of the day, and all the speakers, the evaluators, the table topic master, everyone have been performing their role to the best of their abilities. And I could not see any areas for improvement on that angle. Other than the evaluation and the feedback that has been given should be taken up in a constructive manner, and make sure, everyone who spoke on this stage shall make use of an opportunity to take up these evaluation and feedback and improve and revive themselves to the next better level. So with that, I conclude my overall evaluation of the meeting, and I hand back the lectern to the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Sanat Agarwal.
What evaluation session we had where the general evaluation, the prepared speech evaluation, and the table topics evaluation being done by DTM Dr. Sundar. Thank you, Dr. Sundar, for taking up all the roles at the last moment. It is commendable job that you have performed. Overall, given the constraints within which we are operating today, where we don't have the VP education, we don't have the regular sergeant of arms, we our club president is not well. I think it is great that we have been able to pull through this meeting, and that speaks for the grit of all of us around here. I think we should all congratulate ourselves for this. There is always a room for improvement, which we all continue to kind of strive for, but it is really appreciated apart from everyone here concerned that we have been able to conduct this meeting with even a low attendance, and some of our key role players not being there, a couple of prepared speeches be getting cancelled at the last moment, because we are supposed to have 3 prepared speeches, but I think 2 of the prepared speakers have dropped away at the last moment. But overall, a great meeting, and I think with this, let me ask whether we only had one evaluator. Did he qualify? Or we had the evaluator as a table topics evaluator. So timer, did he qualify?
Yeah, he qualified.
He qualified for both, or he qualified for one? So we know that we vote for which evaluator.
No, I think we'll skip the voting for evaluation. Let's skip it off.
Okay, we will be guided by you, Dr. Sundar, because you are the most knowledgeable in all this practice. I don't know if there is one evaluator. Do you still go for the voting or not?
No. If there is only one role player, normally we do not vote. And I think I did not qualify. I know that I went way ahead beyond the red flag during my evaluation.
Okay, thank you, timer. And do we? I think now we have to go for the big 3 voting.
Yeah, you will hand back the lectern to the presiding officer, and the presiding officer calls for the big 3 voting.
Okay. Thank you. So I think with this, I hand over the lectern to the presiding officer, DTM Sundar.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Sanat Agrawal, for that exciting session. And I would say a lively session that you carried on. I know that we were short of audience and short of members today, but as you said, we made sure that this was a full-fledged meeting. There was no shortcomings. We had all the 3 sessions that were conducted, and kudos to you for that one. And also special appreciations to our table topics master for handling the session so brilliantly well. Big round of applause for our 2 big 3 role players. Unfortunately, you would have seen me speaking a lot during the general evaluation session. This was purely because I had to take up a couple of evaluations or at the last minute, and we could not arrange other evaluators. So this is something that we also need to learn from and bring in more members who will be in a position to take up these evaluator roles. So right now, I request you to vote for the best of the big 3 role players. I'm sharing the voting link for that one. You may please vote for the best of big 3. And in the meantime, we can hear the feedback from our guests. I think our guest, distinguished Toastmaster Lancy, has already left the meeting. He did tell us at the beginning of the meeting that he may leave at any time.
Point of order, Dr. Sundar. I think the big 3, only 2 names are there. You don't have
yes.
the third name.
Yeah, because I wish to excuse myself from the voting. And we have Mr. Asim Fayaz with us. Mr. Asim Fayaz, can you please give us your feedback about the meeting that we had today? I think this is your first meeting attending Toastmasters. We'll be really happy to hear from you.
Thank you. It was a very good session, nice session. And I was looking forward to joining Toastmasters for a long time. I have been inspired today by the speeches and by the way the meeting has been conducted and the formality that we have during our session today. That will, I hope, will enable me to get the best out of me in my in my communication, and I'm very happy of joining today's session, and hopefully I'll be part of this excellent group in future, and hopefully I wanted to contribute to many roles as we go along. Thank you very much for having me today.
Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Asim Fayaz, and we were really happy to hear you speak. In fact, your speech was not as that of someone who is speaking for the first time. You know, Table Topics is an impromptu speaking session, and that's one thing that we always get the blues out. We see butterflies amongst all the members, even the seasoned speakers, they start getting nervous, but you spoke so eloquently well, and kudos to you for that one, and congratulations. And we look forward to seeing you in your future meetings and also as a member of MECA KSA Toastmasters Club. Before we announce the results, there are a couple of announcements to be made. The first thing is we have an evaluation and table topic training session that's going to happen today afternoon. I think the link has been shared in the area group. I will once again share it. It's conducted by one of the seasoned Toastmasters, rather a distinguished Toastmaster from Taj Club. He was a past president of Taj Club, and he was also a Division B champion, also a SATAC finalist. And he's really so good in table topics and evaluation. So it's distinguished Toastmaster Roji Matthew. He's going to conduct a session, and it's a hybrid session. So make use of the advantage. You can actually join virtually, and it's going to happen today at 4 p.m. if I'm right. I will share the link in the WhatsApp group, so one of you can cascade it in the Telegram group as well. This is the first thing. The second announcement to be made is about the Area 6 joint meeting. So that will be an Area 6 joint meeting conducted, or this time, this is the first Area 6 joint meeting, which is being hosted by Taj Toastmasters Club. And it's going to happen on this Monday evening at 7 p.m. and it will be an online meeting. So there have been 4 roles assigned for the Area 6 joint meeting for MECA Club. The 4 roles were, one was that of the R counter. Then the other one was for a speaker and an evaluator and the table topics evaluator. So you need to assign 4 role players who are available on Monday evening to take part on the online meeting. So I request the XCOM, and I will also contact Toastmaster Mudassir. I think DTM Sridhar, we may not be able to disturb him for the couple more days to come. So maybe Mudassir and Toastmasters Mudassir and Toastmaster Nauman can look into it and assign. If anybody is interested right now, you can please tell me, and it will be from 7:30 to 9:30. The meeting will happen from 7:30 to 9:30. Okay. So you can actually tell me at the end of the meeting, and I can talk to the Vice President Education of Taj Club, and they can assign you those roles. So with that, we come to the end of the meeting, and we have the results. Yes.
Sorry, DTM. Is it 7:30 to 9:30 or is it 7 to 9?
It's 7:30 to 9:30. We usually start the meeting at 7. 7 to 7:15 is usually testing of the technical setup. 7:15 the meeting starts, but as a role player, you will be starting. Usually, it starts by around 7:30. Okay. So 7:30 to 9:30 is the actual time. So it's time now for us to know the results of today's meeting. So here we have the results. We did not have a best prepared speaker because we had only one speaker, and unfortunately, he did not qualify within the time. Best table topic speaker was Toastmaster Rukesh. And again, same, the evaluator also did not qualify. The best meeting leader was Toastmaster Qazi Syed, our timer. The best objective was our table topic master, Toastmaster Hidayat. Congratulations to all.
Congratulations.
Yes, Toastmaster Norman is back.
Yes. Okay, I have few points. I think Toastmaster Mati will be our counter from our side. Yes, okay. Mati, it's okay with you? Toastmaster Mati, yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes.